I walked away from my business partner. A few years later, I understood how close I came to destroying my life. I've never told this story publicly before, and I'm still not sure why I'm doing it now. Maybe because enough time has passed. Maybe because I still think about it more than I should. About 12 years ago, I started a finance company with a man I genuinely admired. He was about 15 years older than me, already successful, already wealthy, and far more experienced. I was ambitious and hungry. He was calm, precise, and terrifyingly intelligent with numbers. We were a perfect match on paper. From day one, the business took off. Not overnight success, but steady, undeniable growth. Clients trusted us. Referrals poured in. Within a few years, we had an office downtown, a growing staff, and more money coming in than I'd ever seen in my life. Everything was legitimate, or at least it looked that way. The first red flag didn't feel like a red flag at the time. It felt like luck. A new client appeared out of nowhere. No marketing, no referral. Just a quiet introduction and a very large account. They didn't negotiate fees, didn't ask many questions, just wanted efficiency and discretion. My partner handled everything personally. When I asked about it, he smiled and said, "High net worth clients value privacy." That made sense to me. I let it go. Then there were more. Always the same pattern. Big money, low friction, no curiosity. I noticed the money moved a lot. In and out, layered through accounts, routed in ways that were technically legal but oddly complex. Whenever I raised a concern, he had an explanation ready. Tax optimization, international structuring, asset protection. All real things. All things I understood well enough not to push too hard. Looking back, I realized something important. He never lied outright. He just never told the whole truth. The moment everything changed happened late one night in the office. We were alone going over quarterly numbers. The revenue spike was impossible to ignore. I joked that it felt like we'd found a cheat code. He didn't laugh. He leaned back in his chair and said, very calmly, "Do you ever think about how much money exists outside the system?" I remember feeling uneasy but curious. He talked about cash-heavy industries, corruption, inefficiencies. How money doesn't disappear just because it's illegal. It just looks for smarter people to manage it. Then he said it, plainly, casually. Some of the money we were handling came from drug operations. No dramatics. No fear. Just a statement. I froze. I asked him if he was serious. He nodded and said, "I don't touch drugs. I don't hurt anyone. I move money." He explained it like a math problem. The money already existed. Someone else would move it if he didn't. At least he was careful. At least he was clean. At least he understood the rules well enough to bend them without breaking them. What scared me wasn't the crime. It was how reasonable it sounded in that moment. I didn't agree to anything that night. I told him I needed time. He didn't pressure me. He just said, "Think about it logically." After that conversation, I started noticing things I'd ignored before. The cameras. The secure phones. The way he never used the same routines twice. He stopped trusting employees, then stopped trusting me completely. Every email was double-checked. Every transfer reviewed 3 times. He slept in his office more than at home. The money kept coming, but the atmosphere changed. It felt like we were no longer building something, we were hiding inside it. I realized something else too. If this ever came out, it wouldn't matter how uninvolved I was. My name was on everything. I wouldn't get credit for walking away later. I'd be complicit by association. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I left. I gave up my equity. Signed documents I didn't fully want to read. Walked away from a company that was printing money. Friends thought I was insane. Family didn't understand. I didn't explain the real reason to anyone. For a while, it felt like I'd ruined my own future. Years passed. Then one morning, I saw his name in the news. Federal investigation. Financial crimes. Accounts frozen. Firm dissolved overnight. No dramatic arrest photos, no movie ending, just a quiet collapse. Reputation erased. Career over. I sat there longer than I expected, staring at the article. What shook me most was how close I'd been. One more year, one more signature, one more rationalization, and my life would have gone with his. I still work in finance. I still make good money. Not that kind of money, and I'm okay with that. Because I learned something I wish more people talked about. The most dangerous lies aren't told by criminals. They're told by smart people who believe they're the exception. And once you start believing that, you don't notice the line you've crossed until it disappears behind you.